Hey Elyson, welcome back. Today we are doing the Elyson Entrepreneur Interview. In these interviews, we interview local Elyson residents. They happen to be entrepreneurs and we get to hear their story. If you've seen a previous interview and you want to refer that business to a friend, a colleague, or someone at work, feel free to go back to our YouTube page. We've got all of the previous interviews in there. We've got financial consultants, dentists, construction, GC, outdoor living, you name it. We've interviewed them all right here. And we get to learn a little bit about these people that live right next to you, your neighbors, the business they started, how did they start that business, and the challenges that they faced along the way. And I'm really excited about today's interview because today is Fidel Salazar, and he's a good friend of mine, a very good friend of mine. He lives on the same street I live on, and the only reason I haven't interviewed you so far is because he started his business this year. It was a little bit by accident. It wasn't necessarily all planned out, but business came to him and he ran with it. Good golden opportunities. We're really looking forward to hearing his story today. But the reason I know Fidel is because he was so persistent on recruiting me to join this group called F3. And I know you've probably seen a few posts on Facebook. It's a free men's workout. And now I'm out there every day slugging Cindy's and cinder blocks and all that kind of stuff around and exercising as well. But 30 seconds, Fidel.
30 seconds.
What
only.
is F3 for the men here in Elyson?
Well, first of all, thank you very much, Aaron, for the opportunity. I think what you're doing, with this interview is giving a lot of business owners the space. So I want to just thank you for that. You're doing a great job on this. So F3, it's a free workout group for men, just as you said. It's free to everyone. It's all men 18 and up. We train in the mornings, 5 a.m. or 5:15, depending on the location. Mm-hmm. And the F3, what does it stand for, right? Because a lot of people like F3. I heard about F4. What's that? So F3 stands for fitness, fellowship, and faith. And I'm not gonna go into deeper because I'm gonna invite all of you to go to f3nation.com. That's where you'll find a lot of more great information. But the one thing that I'll say, I want to tie this to the business, it's because of F3, I think I was able to kick off this business. I think F3 has helped me a lot in terms of my mindset and the way that I approach things. So I just wonder if I wouldn't have been in F3,
would you be?
Well, Fidaris would be born, probably not.
Yeah, interesting story for sure. No, and for those of you guys who haven't joined us, come out, give it a shot. It's free, so you don't have an excuse. It's in the morning before work, so you can get it done, and lots of fun for sure.
A lot of laughs. There's amazing coffee afterwards, so just come out, check it out.
That's it. And Elyson's great about this, right? It's the community aspect of Elyson, which I think we all love and appreciate. And today I'm really excited to hear Fidel's story because I know him quite well. I know you were a previous executive in some pretty sizable companies out there. And we'll kind of get to hear, hey, how did you get to that journey and what do you do today at Fidaris? So awesome. Tell us, Fidel, where are you from originally?
So I am from Monterrey, Mexico.
Okay.
Or like I would say, Monterrey, Mexico.
Yeah.
That's the right way to say it.
De Monterrey, okay.
Monterrey, Mexico, yes. Born and raised 45 years ago, actually. Okay. So I was born there, studied there all of my life. Mm-hmm. And just as you said, I think kind of like an accident or like, one of those opportunities that you don't think about, what's going to happen afterwards, got me to the U.S.
Awesome.
2017, that's when we moved to the U.S.
2017. Was it right here in Elyson, or where did you move?
No, it was interesting. So we moved to Florida. Okay. We landed in West Palm Beach, Florida.
Got it.
Interesting story. We didn't want to move. A lot of my friends and not family didn't want us to move. Sure. But a lot of our friends were like, "You're going to Florida? Like that's awesome, right?" And we were like, "But we don't know anybody. What is that we're gonna do?" The company that I used to work for at that time, Cemex, got me the opportunity to go there.
Okay.
Into a position that I never exercised before. So that was one of the first tests of like going and doing something uncomfortable, right?
Interesting.
Leading a team that it was older than me in age, older than me in experience.
Yeah.
And I had to just be there and awesome. Develop the team. So. But yeah, we landed in Florida.
When did you move to Elyson then?
We moved in 2021.
2021.
Yeah.
And of course, I know that answer because I literally saw his house being built down the street. So
Yes.
I think you actually moved in before me. But yeah,
I think a
Section
little bit.
26. For those others in Section 26, representing right here today.
Yes.
So yeah, great. So tell us a little bit maybe about your history, background, or what's your education in, and where did you go to school, that kind of stuff.
So yeah, I'm an accountant by profession.
Okay.
I went to Tech of Monterrey. That's one of the biggest universities, colleges in Mexico.
Yeah.
It was an interesting story. Maybe we could leave that for another podcast, right? There was
Okay.
a lot of hurdles, a lot of challenges to get to that university. But
Sure.
but I got there. I got my major in accounting.
Yeah.
That was in 2002, a while ago.
Okay.
That's my background.
Interesting. And then from that, when did you graduate? What did you end up working in right out the gate?
Yeah, so I graduated, and one of the first things I had to do was to pay out debt. Right?
Okay.
Pay off the college scholarship that I had.
Okay.
And I said, I need to find a job. What do? I do accounting, right? So try to
Yes.
find a job in accounting. I had a lot of, I would say, just small jobs, like here and there, and got some networking, some references, and like, Fidel, there's an opportunity for you to work here in this company. You will be our CFO of 3 people.
Yeah.
The first job,
Yeah.
doing accounting.
Hey, starting career out strong.
Starting
right there.
strong, right?
CFO,
I was not the CFO, but I was the accountant pretty
Yeah,
much.
yeah.
But I was doing accounting over
Good.
there, and then from there I started learning the power of relationships.
Okay.
Because the father of a friend of my back then girlfriend, which is now my wife, said, hey, he was a CFO of a bigger company,
Yeah.
and he said, hey, I have an opportunity, right?
Okay.
Would you like to come out here? Yes, of course.
Yeah.
So I landed on a company there. That was one of the first big companies that I worked for.
Good.
So I started my way around accounting and kind of like financial analysis
Yeah.
type of jobs.
Well, if you got a job offer from your girlfriend's father, I think that says something about your character. You must be trustworthy, right? Like,
Yes.
I know a lot of fathers out there are like, I don't know about the boyfriend. Yeah, good.
Yes.
Great.
Yeah. So yeah, that was that's where I started,
Yeah.
and I started moving around because at that time it was I need to pay off my debt. I want to buy a car. I want to do this and that. So it was all about the money, but also getting exposure and getting into the big companies. In Monterey, there's a lot of companies, but there's just a few companies that it's Cemex is one big one. FEMSA. There's big companies like you shoot for those companies.
Yeah.
It was very hard to get into those kind of companies because you had to know someone on the inside, pretty much.
Yeah.
Right.
And that's something I wish I was taught when I had my internship, right? I didn't know this, is like, hey, you get there and you're so focused on a work, which is really like getting coffee and like pushing some simple spreadsheet, right? But it's really more about building those relationships, because that's really where business comes from. That's where jobs come from. It's all about relationships, 100%.
Yeah, I would say 20 plus years later, you look back, and I think as Steve Jobs said, right, you try to like, put things together and tighten the knots and the dots, and it's like I'm thankful for those opportunities and for those things that I was able to just build relationships, because sometimes those are the relationships, and then afterwards they'll help you out pretty much.
Sure, good.
Yeah.
That's fantastic.
Yeah.
Yeah. So from there, then, how did you end up landing that job in Cemex? Cemex is a very large company. What does Cemex do, maybe? For those
So Cemex is a construction company. They do cement, aggregates, ready mix, or everything. Buildings, bridges, any type of construction. Pretty much that company does. In Mexico, you hear Cemex, and everybody knows who Cemex is.
But they're global, right?
They're global, yeah. They're more than 50 countries, $14 billion in revenue, more than 40,000 employees. So it's a big company.
Yeah.
And so I landed in that job. I submitted an application pretty much, right?
Sure.
I kind of like knew someone in the company,
Okay.
and I started like kind of like there, but it didn't work out the way that I was expecting.
Okay.
So after my honeymoon, I come back. I was working at a mattress company at that time, Seltzer, and I get a call, and I said, this is Fidel, and hey, we are calling you from Cemex. We have an open job, an accounting job. I said, yes, You're coming back from the honeymoon. I was trying to look for another job. I was trying to make a change. And I said, yes, I want to go to that interview.
Yeah.
For sure, 2007.
Okay.
So I go to the interview. I had a couple of more interviews, and I get the job.
Great.
I get the job 2007. Started in Mexico in Monterrey. Had a lot of opportunity to travel around the world, thankfully. I came to the US at that time, went to Europe, went to South America, went to India as well, 2012.
Great.
So it was a great opportunity.
Did you live in India? Or,
No.
Okay.
I went there
visit?
for, it was for a project actually.
Wow, okay.
We were outsourcing some of the back office functions, right? And it's, related to what I do right now.
Sure.
But we were there for 3 weeks working in US time zone. So that meant waking up
nighttime.
4 p.m.
Yeah.
Working like 5 p.m. to like 6, 7 a.m. in the morning.
Yeah.
It was interesting having pancakes for dinner and then going back to bed.
I bet. And it's like in the afternoon. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, it was a great experience.
Great.
Until I got the opportunity to come to the US in 2017.
Okay. And you mentioned that initially in 2017 you were a little reluctant to come here. Is that correct?
Yeah.
No, why is that? I mean, Americans will say like America's a great country, but what was going through your mindset at the time? Right?
I know. It was my now wife and I. We lived in Mexico for all of our lives.
Sure.
All of our families live there. Cousins, friends, everybody.
Yeah.
So getting out of your hometown, it was scary. It was like, what are we gonna do? It's not our first language.
Yeah.
Our kids, my girls, I have 2 girls. At that time they were 3 and 6.
Okay.
And we were thinking like, what is it? How's it gonna be for them? How's it gonna be life for us? Like we really didn't know anything.
Yeah.
We just went to Texas, Laredo, and McAllen to go on shopping and Christmas shopping. That was it.
Yeah.
But Florida, like, Disney, but like, what is that?
Who else is there?
Who else is there?
Like,
What is it? How are our weekends going to look like, right?
Okay.
We're going to be doing carne asada on the weekends. So that was pretty much the fear of moving out.
Right.
But we said, I got a great advice from one of my former mentors. He says, Fidel, just thinking this way. You can make the decision to stay in Monterrey and being a manager of what you're doing. And in 3 years, you might be the same manager that you're doing, right? Or you can move to the US and have a director role.
Yeah.
So 3 years from now, you can look back and say, I was a director in the US now. You can go back to Mexico.
Sure.
But you'll have a better experience. You'll have a different experience.
Yeah.
That was the thing that made me think, you know what? Let's give it a shot.
Okay. So how did you tell the family? Because it's not just you had to make that decision.
Yeah. It was a tough conversation with my wife. Yeah. It was a tough conversation because it was not only my professional career, but it was also the family, right?
Yeah.
And my wife worked at that time. She was teaching dance at a school.
Okay.
And she was like, she spoke the language, but she was not comfortable enough to I'll go there and find a job and what do I do?
Yeah.
And how's here? But we always thought, let's give it a try.
Good.
What's the worst thing that can happen?
Yeah.
That we go there, we don't like it, we'll come back. It's not the end of the world. Let's go and do it.
Made the move.
And
¿hay otros latinos en Florida también? O
muchos Latinos.
There you go. Lots of Latinos everywhere.
You go to Florida and you go to the grocery stores and you go to Miami, they speak in Spanish first.
It is. It is.
So
it's true.
Yeah, that was one of the things that made everything, I think, easier. There's a lot of Latin people.
Okay,
there.
great, good. So you came there as a director role then.
Yeah.
And by now you have a team of people you're leading and running these things.
I have a team of people.
Okay.
I was in charge of all the credit and collections area for Cemex, right? It was an AR that handled $500 million at that time, responsible for that, responsible for a team of 70 people between, distributed across the US, Florida, Texas, Arizona, California. So I got to travel too.
Yeah.
It was the first time that I really got to learn the culture. Because before, even though I was traveling and coming to the US, I really didn't experience what was living in the US.
Yeah.
How I was managing a team in the US, you know. So that opened my mind to this is something new, right?
Yeah.
But it's cool to learn. That's, again, as I look back, I'm grateful for that opportunity because now I see things in a very much different way.
Sure, I bet. Yeah, culturally and also from the company side too. I'm sure the culture in the company changes from location to location.
Definitely,
so,
definitely.
Good.
Yeah, it's not the same thing trying to manage a team in Mexico for the same company that moving to the U.S. It's like two different companies.
I bet. So 2017 to 2021, were you in the same role, same thing, essentially there in
No,
Florida,
I actually had a different two roles while I was in Florida. I was the director for credit and collections, and then some internal changes happened, and they said, Fidel, can you help us out managing all of the what we call back office transactional services, which is accounts payable, travel expenses, master data, HR, payroll. So I said, yeah, you know, I've managed that in Mexico before.
Yeah.
So yeah, I can do that, right? Now that I know more of the culture and I know the processes, I can do that. So I did that role for close to 2 years. It was close to 2 years.
Okay. I'm sure it was a big change for you in terms of skill sets that you're handling, from accounts receivable to collections to internal costs, that kind of stuff.
It was kind of like look at both sides of the coin, right? On receivables, you're focused on what do you need to do to collect, to negotiate with customers, on how to bring that money. On the payable side is like, how do you take care of your vendor and how do you make sure they get paid on time, right? Because if you don't pay them on time, then supply chain you'll cause some issues on the supply chain of the company. So both things are important. How you pay your vendors so that you can get your raw materials and your products, you know?
Yep.
And then you can, in the construction industry, you get your raw materials and then you can produce and sell. So if you're not doing a good job on payables, it's hard to do a good job on receivables.
Yeah, absolutely. I bet. And during that time, did you ever have like any big projects, or in your time in Cemex, any big projects or big changes that maybe you had a part? I'm sure it was handed down, but you got to roll it out, right? You got to make those changes happen and that kind of stuff. Yeah. Bigger companies, what is that like?
Yeah, so I would say one of the biggest projects, and I was able to do this in two times. So one is when we did an outsourcing. So Cemex decides to outsource some of the activities to India. That was in 2011, 12.
Okay.
That was when I got the opportunity to go to Bangalore, and at that time we outsourced some of the activities, right? Accounting and fixed asset, accounts receivable, some of the things. And it was not my team, therefore I like, hey, I'm just leading this, guys, right? Like don't shoot the messenger.
Sure.
So that happened there, but then in 2021, actually right at when I was moving to Houston, a company decides to outsource even more activities, right?
I see.
So at that time it was more transactional. This time the company says, hey, I think we can outsource all of the collection activity. And we're like, whoa, wait. So you're saying that US customers are gonna get calls from someone in the Philippines or in Colombia with a different accent and all of that, and there was a lot of hesitation, a lot of resistance from the business. So my job was, one, to convince the business that we were not gonna mess that up. And second, to tell my team to convince themselves and say, hey, we're doing this because of these reasons, and we all have to support it. So it was like, I was in the middle of, how do I motivate my team? And then how do I tell the business everything's going to be okay?
And instill confidence when maybe you yourself don't always fully know that.
Of course, because I myself had some hesitations on, are they going to really, it was an outsource with another big company, another tech company, and it was like, they say they do great things, but is this really going to happen, right? So that was a big challenge.
That's good.
And the company decides not only to do that, not only for the US, but also for Mexico and South America and the Caribbean. So it was convincing my US team, and at that time I had another position. So after managing the transactional services piece, I now get the position of head of order to cash. Order to cash, for those that don't know, in the shared services industry, order to cash means from when you set up a contract with a customer all the way to how you bill, how you collect, and how you apply that money into your books. So from the order to cash. So I was managing that for Americas, US, Mexico, South America.
That's when you were here in Elyson already. Right?
Yes, that was when I was actually I was moving to Elyson right when we're doing that outsourcing.
Okay, great. Yeah. lots of fun things. Moving is easy, right?
It was moving. So it was now the second move, because the biggest move was from Monterey to Florida, right? And then this one was like, all right, we already know the country.
Sure.
We know what's a move and all the things that we need to pack. So we had some experience.
Okay.
And the only thing we didn't know is perhaps just the place around here, but everything else, and schools, but everything else, it was like, okay, we kind of know it.
No, that's good. I think it's always a challenge, right? Because like on accounting side, when you change things in accounting, if you're an executive, you know that those changes mean usually big margins or big profits potential for your pocket with maybe little costs, right?
Yeah.
However, making those changes in large companies needs to be well thought through, well planned, and handling expectations, handling the emotions, handling people, which is always tricky to do that. So it's awesome that you have that experience for sure.
Yeah, no, definitely. It helps you grow a lot. I mean, I again, now that I look back, it's like I'm grateful that I had those experiences. Right? It was tough when you're in the moment.
Yes.
It is very rough. Because you get people when you see part of your team frustrated.
Sure.
And when you get, you're being punched left and right, business like something that went out wrong. They kind of like crucify you and but everything else went fine, right?
Yeah, I know.
And your team is like, but it's just a lot of resistance to change.
Okay.
But what I always like to say to my teams is like, look, don't you see don't limit yourself to see what's in front of you right now. Try to see, farther than that.
Further ahead.
And what do I mean by that is just try to think for yourself once you're 1 year, 2 years after that big change, whatever that change project is, you'll look back and you'll say, now myself if I see myself as an asset, I now did a transition, I did an outsourcing, this, and that. So try to see that for yourself. Don't think that, this is gonna impact my job. It will impact, there'll be rough days, I'm not gonna lie. But afterwards, you're gonna say, I'm glad that I did that because it helped me grow. And now that will give you opportunities to either grow in the same company, in another company, or to set up your business.
Yeah, absolutely. No, that's huge. I think it's awesome to see that. One question for you. Accounting is a piece of things, right? And I'm sure you were neck deep in accounting for sure, but you're also dealing with changes in business processes. As you mentioned, you had to sell the business on using an outsource thing. It's coming. Like they gotta figure it out, right? Like, and you have to instill the confidence. So talk to me about business processes and maybe how you played with other people and collaboration there to kind of change business processes, tools, systems, so on and so forth.
I think this is a very good question. I'm trying to remember when that shift happened, right? Because as you said, accounting is very transactional. It's very like, books, it's asset, liabilities, and that's
this
it,
is
right?
Positive, this is negative.
Positive, negative, there's profit, no profit, and that's it. But I think a couple of years ago, there was a huge boom of like shared services, right? And that's industry that I'm in. And what shared services is basically former controllerships that had certain transactional activities such as accounting and accounts payable and travel expense management and all of that, master data, all those things. And they put them together and they said, now it's a shared services. And now we give services to the business. And then it started evolving as, all right, now that we have all these processes inside here, right? How do we make them better? Well, first we need to standardize them. We need to analyze them. So that's when I start getting much into, you first need to analyze the process, right? All right, how do you do that? Well, you need to map a process. Now I understand like an X-ray. This is inputs, this is the process, and this is the outputs. All right, let's measure it. This takes too long. Well, this is being done by a lot of people. And now if you add the component of nowadays AI, automation, and technology, and all those things that they were not, back in the day. Back in the day, it was more, let's just outsource it. Let's just do it in another country that it's cheaper. It was labor arbitrage. And that's still a solution, but it's not the only one solution. So when you're getting ready to move a process, to transform a process, that's the way that I would put it. You first need to analyze the process, right? You need to know what is it that you're doing so you can improve it. You need to know how as it works, how you measure it,
Okay.
and then which are the actions, all the pieces, how the pieces are put together so that you say, this is my process.
Okay.
So from here, I decide to either transform it
Yep.
or to move it in
Sure.
a cheaper place.
Yep.
But at the essence, the beginning is business process analysis.
Okay. Measure it. That's
Measure
an
it.
interesting thing you bring up. Right?
Yeah.
Let's talk about that. What
Yeah.
does that look like from executive level, right?
Yeah.
When you're looking at processes, accounting, and all that kind of stuff.
Yep. So measurement, we call it KPIs, key
Okay.
performance indicators,
Yeah.
right? That's a term that it's probably very, very well known, but it's what we do it in short services is you have a billing process.
Yep.
But what's a KPI? What's the measurement there? How long do you take from when the order was placed till you get that invoice out of the door? Are you taking a day or two? Why? What's the standard? What's the benchmark?
Okay.
How does the best companies do it?
Yeah.
What's the best way to do it?
Okay.
How long in collections is how long are you taking from you send that invoice, right? Let's imagine that you did the order invoice. When are you getting your money?
Yeah.
And then you're like, well, I have 30-day terms. Okay, are
Yeah.
you getting paid in 30 days?
Right.
Are you getting paid in 45 days?
Right.
60 days? Or are you getting paid in early?
Yeah.
So those measurements are important. Why? Because if not, it's like you're navigating, but you don't really know, am I going at the right speed
Yeah.
or not? Am I going to get to where I need to be on time?
Yeah.
You really don't know. So your key performance indicators will tell you, okay, you're doing a good job.
Right.
And then from key performance indicators, right, you move into SLAs, which is service level agreements. That's
Yep.
something, it's no different than if you are contracting a service and you put up a ticket, right, and they
Okay.
said, hey, I'm going to get back to you
Sure.
in 48 hours, 24 hours.
Yep.
Okay, that's a commitment from the company or the service that you're acquiring to you as a customer. So same thing in shared services. We say, hey, my SLA for invoicing is 1 day,
Yep.
2 days.
Okay.
My SLA for accounts payable is X, Y, and Z.
Yep.
It's 30 days or whatever, right?
Yeah. And it's such a key thing, I think, for business owners, right? Because cash is king. You hear this
Yeah.
frequently. It's sales can be giving all the high fives they want in the
Oh,
office,
yeah.
right? But until that money hits your bank account and then allocates to the appropriate places where it needs to sit
Yeah.
in the business, right? It's really not usable and it's
No.
not obtainable, and you can
No.
have liquidity crunches and you can have
Yeah.
problems in your business if you don't have the money in the right space at the right time, right? So, yeah.
There's a great quote on that, actually. It's called, a sale is not a sale until it's collected.
Yeah, that's good.
So you can sell everything in the world, right? You can
Yeah.
sell at a discount rate. If that money doesn't hit your bank account,
Yes.
then it's like nothing happened.
Yeah.
And that's sometimes the disconnect that salespeople have with the administrative teams or the shared services teams, because the salespeople are focused on just selling,
Yep.
not on bringing the money back.
Right.
So sometimes the people at collections are the bad guys.
That's truly true. I mean, my whole career I've been in sales, right? And I know it's 100% focus on close the deal. Once it's done,
Yeah.
got to go get the next one. Forget
Yeah.
collections. It's boss isn't going to let me off the hook because I made a sale, right? So totally get it. Now, if you haven't noticed, Elyson, this is where Fidel's getting really excited about and passionate about is systems, processes, accounting. Insert Fidaris, right?
Yes. Yes.
So tell us about Fidaris and how you accidentally started at Fidaris.
Yes. So Fidaris. So after I spent 17 years working at Cemex, I get this opportunity to go to another big company.
Yep.
Actually bigger in the U.S.
Okay.
Right? A $9 billion company called ABM.
Okay.
I go there and I work better title, better money, just better opportunity overall.
Sure,
So
sure.
it checked all the boxes, and I said, why not? Let's just go there.
Yeah.
At that point in time, I remember people were asking me, why you want to move after 17 years?
Yeah, it's a
And
long
I said,
time.
that time I was doing F3 already.
Yeah.
And you remember what I was telling you at the beginning, that F3 has pushed me to do things that I never thought I would probably do. And I
Yep.
said, you know what? I'll leave a 17-year career in a company to go to the unknown.
Yep.
And just push myself and just live get out of my comfort zone.
Sure.
I was in my comfort zone at Cemex. I knew everyone. I knew a lot of things. And I said, yeah, as crazy as it sounds, I'll do it.
Great.
So I go there. I spent a year. It was another great experience, right? Now that I look back, it taught me a lot about resiliency, about just being under a lot of like a different, under a lot of pressure.
You were handling a big SAP change, right?
It was, we were managing, when I go there, they said, Fidel, I joined the company in July 2024, and they said, we're going to go live with an ERP implementation. We need you to lead the teams and do all this and that. Yeah, sure, I'll do it, right? A lot of changes start happening, and as any system implementation, things sometimes don't go the way you plan, right? And you have to make quick decisions. So the company starts making, a lot of decisions, and one of the decisions was like, that they do a big restructuring, and a lot of the executive positions get impacted. Yeah, mine was there. Mine was included. So I said, okay, I'm not, I have two choices. I have the choice of either just feeling sorry for myself and saying like, oh, I'm gonna cry and like, the world is over for me and this and that, or I have another opportunity, which is to just use my brain and my experience and to do something about it. Yep. And, my thought when I joined ABM, I said, I want to join ABM because I want to have a different industry experience in my career. Why? Because I want to do consulting probably 10 years from now, 15 years from now. Future vision. Future, I said, if I look back when I'm on at that age, I want to look back and says, oh, Fidel has construction industry, but facility management industry, and maybe another type of industry, healthcare or something like that. Well, you can have your plans, but the one upstairs doesn't always think like that, and I think life just throw a curveball at you sometimes, and you have to either hit or miss, right?
God said, wait. I got something for you. There you go.
Yeah, cool. Exactly. So I said, you know what? Instead of waiting 10 or 15 years to open my consulting company, I'll just open it right now. Okay. And I said, all right, how do I open it? I didn't know. All right, ChatGPT. How do I open a company? And I started asking friends. And I remember I reached out to you and I said, all right, time for, to leverage my network, right? All right, I reach out back to Cemex, and this is why I say the importance of the relationships is key in life. I reach out and I said, hey, I'm open. And they said, Cemex was going through or is still going through a lot of change, right? But they said, we do have a project and we would love for you to come here as a consultant. Yes. Okay. Why not? Great. Going back, my first client, a $5 billion company. Okay. Why not? Yeah. Let's just go and do it. Absolutely. So I opened my consulting company. I started working for Cemex. I'm still working for it.
A little different going back as a consultant, I'm guessing?
Yeah, it was different. It is different. I would say it's a lot better.
Yeah. Okay. Great.
Because I don't have to manage a large team or take care about the things that I used to take care of before. I'm now more, and I had to learn this quickly. I had to be more on the strategic side, which I've led teams and I've been in that world, but it is different being a consultant, right? Yeah. You're not an employee. Sure. You're giving advice to the company on how to do things. So I started there, and then I get a call from another friend, a former Cemex employee that he was working in another company. He said, hey, Fidel, I heard you're opening your consulting company. I can use some help.
It's your network.
Do you have time? Right. I said, sure, I have time. So that's when I started to see, you know what, this could look like a good future. I'm really liking this. So I get fired up. I start learning. The first thing that I thought to myself is, what are the things that I'm missing that I need to upskill myself? Sure. Because it doesn't matter if you've done a lot, if you learn a lot, there's always something new that you need to learn. Okay. So I kept myself in that kind of mindset. Yep. Like, all right, I probably know all these things, but I don't know what's new in the world. Yeah. I have time now. Yep. So I started learning a lot about AI. I started learning a lot about how to do a CRM. Okay. Just how to manage a business and how to grow a business. So I started networking, getting in front of people. Had a recent as of last week, a potential customer that we're getting an offer pretty soon. Great. So I'm excited, fired up, and getting ready to help a lot of businesses.
Moving along. That's
Yeah.
awesome. And I know from conversations with you, because you live down the street and
Yeah.
I see you all the time walking the dog, right?
Yes.
But you have another friend that was starting a business, I believe, in Monterrey. Is that correct? Working in the AI space. Is that correct?
Yeah. So,
And
so actually, I've learned a lot from him. And funny story, him and I worked together as a waiter back in 1998.
yeah.
And life just moved us. He now, he maintained himself on the food industry.
All right.
He was able to like build a franchise.
Great.
And then he sold the franchise. And he said, you know what? I love all this like tech kind of things and AI. And because I was posting a lot in LinkedIn and doing consulting and this and AI and da.
Yeah.
He said, hey Fidel, let's talk, right?
Okay.
I have some training that I could give you if you're interested in this AI, world. And man, I'll tell you, I've learned a lot.
Good.
I thought ChatGPT, I thought I knew ChatGPT.
Yeah.
That's just the tip of the iceberg.
It's rapidly changing too.
Every day.
Absolutely.
Every day. And it's technology is advancing so fast, that if we're not able to keep up, we might fall behind, right? So I think that's where I'm in right now, is just trying to leverage that a lot.
So when it comes to like AI, accounting, and system process, or business processes rather, where do you see maybe the short-term opportunity is and maybe the long-term opportunity for that?
So I think linking AI and technology to business processes.
Okay.
Short term, I think, and everybody might know this, AI can help you on repetitive tasks, right? Certainly can help you to search like a search engine, but talking about strategy, like you have, hey, how do I collect better?
Yeah.
Right? What do I do? What do I do first? I don't know.
Yeah.
You can go not only to ChatGPT, but you can use different tools that have like a broader let's say knowledge or way of how they're configured, right? I use Claude a lot from Anthropic, and Claude helps to develop strategies a lot, right? So it's not only like, hey, give me a strategy on this. It's about having those tools to get to know you. So you tell Claude, this is who I am. I'm Fidel, and I run this business, and I'm specialized in this, and that. So, and you kind of like throw some ideas, and it's like having a personal coach that tells you, all right, based on what you said, I'm going to structure the ideas for you. And now I'm going to give you a strategy. Boom, right? Oh, okay. A simple example on accounts payable. I have a lot of vendors that I need to pay. Who do I pay first? All right. You can use, the AI tools. You can use Claude. You can use ChatGPT and say, all right, this is the Excel information database. You need to be able to give good instructions too, right? So the way that I always, not always, but now I look at it is like, it's like you're hiring an employee, like a senior analyst or an analyst, and you need to tell them what's their job description. Hey, I need you to analyze this, and the outcome that I need to have is a report, it's a study, it's a graph, it's whatever you need as an outcome, right? But you need to tell the tool what is it that you need. So it's not just like, here it is, what can you tell me about it? Well, the tool will tell you, but you need to be able to say, hey, I need to do a report, I need to do a presentation, I need to do analysis. So in the short term, answering the question, all of that's answering the question. In the short term, I do see AI saving time on doing presentations, doing strategies on accounts payable, accounts receivable, travel management, giving you insights on unstructured data, right? It's like, hey, I have all this information, I have documents, a big policy, I don't have a lot of time to read it. You can use Notebook LM and it'll give you like a podcast version of that, right? So not only for like structuring processes or like making analysis quicker, but also to like setting up like good SOPs, standard operating procedures, documentation, training, that it's all like in the short term. How do I see this in the long term? I see it, and not perhaps very long term, right? But I do see organizations where you're having, let's say that you're the leader, you're the executive or the manager for the accounts receivable team. I see the future as you're having, hey, I'm going to have Fidel, I'm going to have Aaron, doing this kind of jobs, and
Okay.
you'll be assisted by AI. But
Yep.
then I have R2D2
Yeah.
doing, and this is his job description,
Right,
and
right.
he's in charge of sending the daily email on accounts receivable, who's the biggest past dues, this and that. And R2D2 needs to tell Aaron and Fidel what is it they need to do,
Yeah.
who they need to call, because that's something that's not going to be, or at least I don't see that, the human touch.
Yes.
Right? The hearing your voice, right?
Right,
Even
right.
though there's a lot of now bots out there, right?
Sure.
You go to Taco Bell and here in Ellison, and
Yeah.
you get the order
AI
being taken by
agent.
AI.
Yeah.
But I do see that on the long term. Short term, more repetitive tasks, more things like that. Long term, more like I have my combined team.
Right.
People and robots.
Yeah.
AI agents.
It's funny you mention this, and I think you're touching on this, but I want to highlight this, right? Because I know, like, I was playing around with AI initially, getting started, and I got really frustrated because I'm like asking some basic real estate questions, right?
Yeah.
And the answer, they were genuine questions I have, but the answer was so blatantly wrong. And I was like, that's not even legal, right? Like, it's giving me bad advice. AI is trash. Throw it out the window, right? And then I started to learn, like, AI is valuable as a idea generator. It can also learn over time some things are right or not, and then it saves you time and it becomes a useful tool. So talk to me about experience and AI, right? Like, as you say, I don't think we can just use AI to open your business today and start running it, right? But as you're doing it today, and maybe touch on too what Fidaris does. Like,
Yes,
we've skirted all around it, but what does Fidaris do?
Yeah.
And then how does your experience as an executive in some larger companies, so on and so forth, help you in terms of building strategies for other companies, that kind of stuff? You mentioned strategy, right?
Yep.
Do you want to just trust Claude with any strategy? What does that look like?
Yeah. So I'll start off with Fidaris Advisory, right? So Fidaris Advisory specializes in helping companies to navigate through times of transformation, times of change. What I mean by that is when companies are trying to change their ERP systems, or they're trying to implement one, they don't have one, and they say like, hey, we want to implement Oracle, SAP, or just a local system, whatever the system is. Whenever a company is struggling to collect their cash, whenever a company is struggling, like, I have issues on my supply chain, vendors are threatening me to cut my supplies because we don't know how we're going to pay them, or we don't have a process. Companies that are struggling, like, I have a bunch of data, but I don't really have good reports. Like, what do I do? What do I analyze? So Fidaris helps those companies to structure their processes.
Get the KPIs,
and
map
KPIs.
it all out.
Yeah, so it's process documentation, process design or redesign, right? So we built from scratch, or we fix whatever needs to be fixed. Companies that are, again, we build reporting, we do analytics, we do dashboards. And most of all, or most importantly, I would say, we empower the teams so they can run their transactions and their processes in a sustainable way.
Got it.
Because the thing that I don't want for this company is just to say, hey, it's like the doctor. I went there, here's the pill. You're good, but then you're gonna come back in 6 months and say, like, I feel bad again.
Right.
Which that would be good for the business. But one of my principles, right, is honesty, transparency, and it's empowering the teams to do what they need to do in a sustainable way.
That's awesome.
So we help the company say, this is the framework, this is how the process should look like, this is how the process is, we call it the assets. This is how the to-be looks like. This possibility. You can automate all of this. And you can save a lot of time for the people that are working right now. So if they save time, that doesn't mean, oh, my job is on the on the line.
On the brink,
No, that means that team, that people, that employee now has the time to do other things which more valuable things, right? So that's what we do, right? We leave the companies with like a standard operating procedure, with process maps, with clear places and identifying very clear where are the opportunities, and most of all, why. Because I can just go there and like, oh, you need to automate this part of the process, right? But like, why? So what? We call it like, so what? If I do that, then what happens, right? So we specialize on that, right? That's what Fidaris does.
Good.
How I plug AI, right? AI,
experience with it,
the
right?
experience with it, right? So, and I'm gonna, talk to a real example.
Yeah, good.
I did
love
last
it.
week.
Bring it to us.
So again, I had a meeting with a potential customer, and I said, I know that I need to take notes.
Okay.
And I don't trust very much my memory because I know that I'm gonna forget something like what was said here and there, right? So I use a tool called Notion, and I have the AI agent over there. So when I start the meeting, I just click start transcribing, right? It's not recording the meeting; it's just transcribing conversation. And after the meeting ended, Notion was able to give me a summary very well, very good summary of what the meeting was about. I already have that agent configured to the point where I want the notes structured in this way, right? Key topics, action items, next steps, da-da-da-da-da.
Got it.
So then I use Claude, and Claude is my chief strategy officer, right? So I have an employee, digital employee that understands what Fidaris methodology is, because Fidaris has a methodology of the 3Ds, I call it, right? It's not a double down devotional that we do at F3.
Right.
It's the discover, design, and deploy. We first discover what the business is about, what are the struggles, we then design it, and then we deploy what the solution is.
Great.
So my chief strategy officer knows that and knows how I like things to get structured and what's the outcome that I want to get. So I plugged the notes in Claude, and I said, Claude, just give me a proposal for this client. This is the context. This is the company that I'm going to give a proposal for, and this is what the company is struggling with.
Yes.
In a matter of minutes, Claude gives me a full strategy on what do I need to do first, then second, then third.
So what I'm hearing you say is that you said, hey, Claude, this is what a successful strategy contains and has, right? And then here's a framework, and when you have been successful in answering my question, right?
Correct.
Because these things just take a lot of time for you to go do. But because you know what the output needs to be, you can give it them the inputs, and it helps you execute quickly.
And the value, I would say, all of that took me minutes, to be honest. But the time that I really put in, instead of spending time taking the notes and doing all of that, and then the strategy, what do I do first? No, it's like I just need to review what the strategy that Claude did and say, based on my experience, yes, this makes sense. This doesn't make a lot of sense. Let me change here and there. So you put more, and this is something to be careful with AI, you put a lot more critical thinking. It's not just whatever ChatGPT throw at you, like, oh, that it is, right? That would be a big mistake. Big mistake. It's whatever the tool your digital employee gave you, you put your knowledge and experience and your critical thinking, and then you said, all right, this makes sense. This doesn't make sense. Let me make a tweak. But if you look at the broader scheme of things, the time that you saved on transactional work, it's tremendous.
Sure, absolutely.
So if you imagine that into employees in a company, if they use AI for vendor payments and account reconciliations, a company's performance and efficiency can skyrocket.
And that's where you take those or your company's KPIs, your measurements, so on and so forth, and you say, hey, where am I slow? Understand the process. Does it need AI or not? Maybe it's rules, maybe it's systems, maybe it's process, maybe it's things we need to cut out, right? And then solve that problem. So, Right. So talk to me then, like when you're engaging with somebody here in Elyson, there's somebody here, I mean, business is a little bit slower. Sales are down for a number of companies out there right now. It's a great time to figure out where the quick, easy wins are to bring more to your bottom line, bring cash in and get it there, right? When you meet with them, what does that look like? From first conversation to, understanding if you're a fit to implementing a little bit more. What kind of information do you need? Because you're walking in blind to these companies. You don't know them, right? Like, how do you get to a point where you can know them and help them?
So one thing I do first is we'll try to just get information out there. There's a lot of information out there on the internet, of course. So you search for, like, I'm meeting with this potential client. What does company do, and the size, number of employees, locations, whatever you can get before that meeting, right? That's helpful. Then the second thing, once we engage into that first meeting, it's just about asking questions on, what's depending on the position that the person you're interviewing with, right? If it's the CFO, which typically is the the position that we will even be interviewing with, or the owner, true, right?
Yeah.
But it's an executive position, is what I'm trying to say, a managerial
Great.
position. So it's first understanding how's the business in terms of what is the company doing. Hey, we're going into a system transformation, or we're just struggling here or there. Okay, that's to capture where the mind of the CFO, the executive is, right?
Okay.
Because from there you can derive a couple of more questions. If I start asking things about how's your accounts receivable process, like that's not what I have the issue, right? It's more on sale, like okay. So it's understanding first what's the state of the company, whether the company how's the company performing? Understanding a little bit about where is the company, right? You know, if it's just one location, if it's spread across the U.S., if it's globally, if it's, you know, where is the company operating? How's their structure, right? Oh, we have a team that is specialized in this, or no, it's not a team, it's all spread out across everywhere, right? It's not even the shared services who do contract, it's all, every salesperson does billing, collections, and everything. Okay, so you're talking about a decentralized operation. I ask about what are the priorities, what are the key priorities, right? Oh, it's cash, it's collection, or it's stabilize the team, it's implement this tool. It's to have a documentation. So whatever the priorities are, how the company is, I ask also, what's the timeline? What's the expectation? Just to measure if it's something that is super urgent, if it's something that it's going to take probably a year or months or something like that. So I typically try to do it in 30 to 45 minutes because I understand that time is pressure for business owners. So I try with those key questions, I capture most of what I need in order to then go back with my AI team. And
that's right.
With my AI team and myself too on doing a proposal, right? Because if I hear things like, well, we are a team of 15 people. Okay, so the discovery phase, and I do have that in a very well documented methodology. The discovery phase consists on interviewing the team and understanding their role, their position, what are their struggles and all of those things. So if it's a team of 15, then all right, the discovery phase is going to take probably 2 weeks. Right. But then what are the things after the discovery phase? All right, then, you know, the design phase and then the deployment phase. But in the discovery phase is the most important thing because it's when you identify, oh, there's 15 opportunities. Or no, things are running good. It's just that these 5 things are the ones that really need a change or have an opportunity. Right. If it's a team of 3 people, you can knock that down in a week. In a week, we can get through the discovery phase and probably through the design phase. That's more or less how it looks like.
No, I think that's great. I think the discovery phase is so important, right? Before real estate, I've always worked in selling enterprise software, and I think it's the key thing is going in, finding and figuring out, hey, what's important to you, but also helping quantify, because sometimes we all just get so busy in our day-to-day that we don't stop to think like, hey, this is important, but it also has a really, really significant financial impact to my business, right? And I can probably afford this 30 times if I just fix, you know, a few small things and target that. So that's huge.
So sometimes I'll give you another real example. This happened with one of the customers. What I've seen is companies are very, you know, focused and taking care of the day-to-day things. That they have little time to understand what are all of the issues, but well, they know what the issues are, but they sometimes don't understand what are the root cause. What's causing that issue and what's the impact on the bottom line.
I see.
The finding that we got into one of these companies is, hey, in the discovery phase, we said, your people is spending 216 hours in a month to take a file and to put it in the system. Can you imagine how much can they do in 216 hours, reaching out to vendors, doing other type of things, solving things instead of doing some things that technology can do?
It's so costly.
So when they saw that, it's like, oh, I knew they were doing that manually, but I didn't know the amount of time and the cost.
You just don't know, right? Like,
exactly. So when you detect those kind of things and you put it in front of leadership, you said, look, this is what we can do. We can help you automate that. You'll be saving 216 hours. What can they do? Just think about growth, because this company was thinking about, growing and having some other acquisitions. So now, instead of you needing to hire one more person, now you have the bandwidth to grow and to scale your business.
Right.
So it's not always let's automate to save money. Yeah, you can do that.
Sure.
Let's automate to cut our head count. Yeah, you can do that. But if you're having a mentality, and that's why I ask about what's the executive priorities, because if the priorities are, we need to grow the business, we're in this phase of expanding ourselves, all right, you may not need to hire people.
Sure.
You may just need to redesign your processes and to make them more efficient so you can scale them.
Absolutely.
So you redesign the process, you put very clear KPIs and SLAs, and from there, it's like, all right, I have the bandwidth now to just expand.
No, it's so good. And I think what's really going to help you flourish and bloom is the fact that you have been an executive in some pretty large companies, because you start to see those impacts, right? It's easy for a business owner to just say, hey, if business is hard, if business is struggling, let's just squeeze on sales. Let's just ring it. We'll double down. We'll pour more money in there. We'll put more investment. We'll make more money, and everything will be fine, right? But sometimes it's taking a step back, slowing down to understand how bad are we actually hurting on our systems and processes today. What does that bring to my cash, in my business? And then not only that, you might find that your sales gets better because of that, because sales is probably stepping in and filling some of those gaps, or you're pulling people from other positions and roles that shouldn't be for something that's not automated in your business today, right? It has big bottom line impacts, and it can actually have not only a cost savings, but a sales surplus in your upline too, right? Your business.
Well, for sure. I mean, I've seen companies, and I work in companies where the strategy has been to grow despite not having a good foundation, and it's just like buy, and you end up, when you're so big, it's like you see what's on the closet, it's like, oh my God, it's all disorganized. I didn't do a good job, like putting all the all the shirts here, this and that. It's like it's all over the place. So the effort that you need to put in is like, all right, now I need to hire a big consulting firm to help me transform this. Whereas if you would have started from having a good discipline, right? All right, these are my processes. I'm small, but I have a good process. I have a good way of doing working with my one client or whatever the case it is, right? That sale, when you multiply that, the only thing you need to really do is like, all right, just keep either adding people, because ultimately you need you will need more salespeople, you will need more people to process things.
Sure.
But if you leverage technology, you might not need to hire 20 people.
Yeah, exactly. Right. Great. So Fidel, thank you so much for interviewing with us, sharing your story, how you got started. If there are other business owners out there today, they're saying, hey, this is exactly what I need, accounting strategy, and help take a look at the books and the processes, business processes, AI technologies and tools to improve their business today, how do they reach you?
Yes. So you can reach me at Fidel Salazar at fidarisadvisory.com.
Great. Fantastic. Thanks again, and we'll see you guys on the next interview.